And welcome back to the Profile Pod. I'm your host, Double A, back for another spectacular episode as we are every week, ladies and gentlemen. Good to have you here wherever you're tuning in from. If you're on the audio platforms, thank you so much for being here. If you are in the from Roku, if you're on YouTube, Social Nostra, IG, thank you so much for being here. And speaking of Social Nostra, we are a network of talented creators and podcasters available on Roku, YouTube, and all the major platforms. So there's something there for you on the network. So check out Social Nostra, give us a follow, subscribe, all that good stuff. So, and don't forget to leave me a rate and review on Apple Podcasts. Follow me on Instagram, all that good stuff, ladies and gentlemen. We have a very special guest here. This gentleman is doing so much. He is doing so much. And like I said, man, this is the podcast that brings on individuals who are doing extraordinary things in life to inspire the human spirit. And this gentleman is doing this and going above and beyond that, man. I don't know how he does it, but he is, first of all, he's a captain in the United States Air Force. That in and of itself is like, I don't know, we could go on forever talking about that. Then he's a real estate agent in the Las Vegas market. That's another thing that can go on forever. Really, really good stuff. And he created a game, Loteria Boricua, a board game, or it's, if you're not familiar, it's like bingo, Latin bingo, if you will. And he is the other thing I want to mention, and he is a dancer instructor of salsa, which I think will be the meat and potatoes of what we talk about here on this episode. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome my man originally out of New Jersey, Salsa Josh. How are you, brother?
Good. Hey, Double A. I really appreciate it. I'm doing pretty well. Thanks for the introduction and for highlighting me and my story and then the community I'm a part of. So how you doing?
Oh, I'm good, man. Thank you, man. Yeah, I appreciate you, man, because like I said, the essence of this podcast, and I say it every week, I sound like a broken record, is I bring on individuals who are inspirational. Bottom line, damn it. And you are by far, man, like just doing so much. I don't know how you do it, man. You're like I said, you're a captain in the United States Air Force. Thank you for your service. And you created a Loteria Boricua, and you're a real estate agent in Las Vegas. And I mean, and then of course, man, you're an unbelievable dancer. Ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't seen him dance, you got to see him dance. And we're here to talk about everything, man. Where do we start, brother?
I don't know. I guess we could start from my time in the Air Force, my beginning roots growing up, and then kind of tell you how I got into all this dancing and everything like that. It's kind of funny. You never know. The moral, story I'll start it out is you never know where life's going to take you. And I never thought I'd be where I'm at right now. And it's crazy the path that, I've taken, so to speak. So,
yeah, absolutely. You're originally from New Jersey, right? From the Pennsylvania side, though, right? I think.
Yeah, so I was born in New Jersey, and I grew up right across the way in a town called Milford, Pennsylvania. And so my dad worked in New Jersey. I was in Jersey a lot. I went to school in Pennsylvania. Our house was in Pennsylvania. My mom worked in New York. 5 minutes north, we were in New York. 5 minutes east, we were in Jersey. So right in that corner of all the tri-state areas is where I grew up. So depending where I'm at, I'll tell people I'm from one of those three states.
Okay. Yeah. Do they call it the tri-state area, right?
Tri-state area, exactly.
Yeah. I've been to New York, man. I've never been to New Jersey or Pennsylvania. I need to go. I'd love to go out there. My father-in-law is from New Jersey, Willingboro.
Okay. Yeah, that's right.
Right, and so we always have those conversations, and he was right there close to the Pennsylvania state line, man. And but yeah, like, so you grew up out there, man, and so what made you kind of what inspired you to join the Air Force, man? How did that come about?
So being close, we're about 90 minutes from New York City, and 9/11 was actually the moment that really inspired me to want to serve in the country, especially the unification of our country after that event. Having a lot of friends whose parents or relatives worked in New York City or had lost a loved one in the incidents of 9/11 really brought our community together afterwards, and that was something that inspired me. I said, hey, I want to serve in the United States military in some capacity. And growing up, I've always been a leader, been a part of sports teams and captains of sports teams, and I knew I wanted to pursue the officer route. And so additionally, I was pretty close to West Point. So having the experience of West Point and also the Naval Academy and seeing the football games of Army and Navy, I understood a bit about what it is to go to an academy, a military academy. So as I pursued, through high school, working hard in school and sports, I said, I want to pursue the academy. And I looked at all the service academies, Navy, Air Force, Army, even Coast Guard Academy. And
Go Navy. Sorry.
Yeah, or Air Force. But, I had other passions, and the one big passion for me was Latin culture. And it kind of all comes together, knowing that the Air Force offers opportunities to travel and to work in different countries and fly everywhere. I said, hey, I think Air Force is going to be a perfect fit for me. Not only can I serve as an officer, but I get to travel and partake in the cultures and communities that I want to. So backtracking, I guess, about the Latin culture part, how it kind of combined with my military desires. I grew up in a very small town with very little diversity in the town of Milford, which was in the Pocono Mountains, so to speak. I was living in the woods. However, I had opportunities to go to a summer camp, and the summer camp was in Massachusetts. It was a summer camp my father used to go to when he was little. But in the summer camp, there were kids from all over the world that came, and I ended up making friends with kids from Latin American countries, to include Spain. So I was hanging out with some Puerto Ricans, Dominicans, some Spaniards, and Colombians, and I fell in love with their culture, and they just became really good friends. We play sports together, hang out in the summers, and I wanted to learn more about their culture. And so I started learning Spanish and studying on my own. And I brought that back to my town of Milford, where I began seeking out Latino friends. And we had friends, there were communities in, the small town I lived that were Latino based. So I started befriending some of the Latinos and hanging out with them. And through that, those friendships, I grew to love the Latin culture. And so that passion grew and grew as I went through middle school and high school. And then I combined it to me wanting to not only serve, but serve in a way that I can enjoy my passions and desires to travel.
Wow, man. Yeah, that's very interesting, man. Like we were saying before, like we're off the air, there's a whole community of gringos of Caucasians who really embrace the Latino culture, man. Whatever it be Puerto Rican, Mexican, Colombian, what have you, right? And like I was saying, there's in doing some research preparing for this episode, I noticed that oh wow, there's a community out there, and that's beautiful, man. That's beautiful. It's the Latino culture. Like again, whatever country you're choosing, there's a different flavor to each culture, man. It's really beautiful, and you seem to have really embraced that with the salsa dancing, and you got into salsa dancing. I think you said in 2018, right? Was it? And that's amazing, man. Because I look at you, your moves, and you seem like a veteran, man, like seasoned veteran. Like you've been doing it for ages, man. And really, you've only been doing it about 4 years now, right? Or 3?
That's coming up on 5 years. Yeah, absolutely.
5 years. Yeah. So what inspired you to get it? Was that just part of the your love for the culture, the dancing just kind of you picked up along the way as you immerse yourself in these cultures?
It's funny because I didn't know much about dancing, Latin dancing, until I went through the Air Force Academy. And so at the Air Force Academy, I studied political science, foreign area studies, and then I minored in Spanish. And part of our language program was to travel to other countries and study the language. And so my junior year at the Air Force Academy, we went to Panama for about 3 weeks. And in our group, we had different activities after our courses to help us bond and to learn about the culture. And one of the evenings was a salsa dancing class. And so at that time, it was, me and a whole bunch of guys. We had a couple of girls, but it was kind of like a joke. We'll go have fun, whatever. It's whatever, salsa class. Well, being an athlete growing up, I actually got, I picked it up pretty quickly in the class. It was a 1-hour class, and I had fun with it. Later that evening, we all went out to a club that was on a rooftop bar in the center of Panama, downtown of Panama. And there was salsa dancing. And there were people up on the roof beautiful women. Everyone was dressed up, dancing, having a good time. I said, wow, this is different. This is not just a nightclub where people are just hanging out. This is people actually dancing socially and switching partners. And there's some skill involved with this. And I said, wow, this is something totally different. I'd never seen this before. And so that was kind of the icing on the cake of all of my passions with the Latin culture, between the food, the music, the people, the community environment. The dancing was, wow, this can combine a lot of stuff in a social aspect. And I said, I'm gonna start doing this because I love being active. It's a physical activity. You're working, you're sweating, you're dancing all night long, you're meeting new people. And that was kind of like the turning point for me in finding a new passion of combining all the different interests I have. So since then, that was 2017, but it wasn't really till 2018 when I started taking more classes and taking it seriously.
Oh, okay. And so, but right away, you were just, you were hooked on it.
Absolutely. Actually, to be honest with you, I knew it mentally I was hooked, but I wasn't convinced yet to go full out. I was still having some reservations, like, I don't want people back home knowing it's kind of weird if I start taking classes, what people think, a military guy dancing, or, my boys, I grew up playing sports, hanging out with my boys and stuff, like that's kind of weird, dancing, whatever.
Yeah.
But so I started taking classes little by little on my own, and in secret. And then as I got better and the passion grew, I started letting people know and starting doing videos. I said, this is awesome. I'm all in. So.
Oh, wow, man.
That's how.
Yeah. Now you're an instructor too, correct?
Correct. So I teach at various events. I love to go to, they're called congresses. They're essentially 3-day salsa dancing festivals where people come together in a city from all over the world. And we have performances, workshops, dances at night. And I just came back from Atlanta. I taught in Atlanta Salsa Festival last weekend.
Oh, in Atlanta?
Yes, sir. Yeah, Atlanta. It was the Atlanta Salsa and Bachata Festival. So people came out. It was a beautiful event.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say that was probably pretty cool. Geez, man. You get people from all over Latin America probably, right?
Yeah, Latin America. Yeah, there's a team from Mexico, people from Spain, even Turkey, all over the world. And what's cool is social media has allowed me to expand an audience and grow a community that these folks follow me and they say, I want to take his class. I want to meet him. I want to dance with him. And so that's really given me opportunities. So doing the videos ever since day one of dancing has been able to show people that you can go from nothing, where I started, stepping on 2 feet or whatever the case is, to being a pretty good dancer and being able to give back and teach to newer folks.
No doubt, man. But did you, relatively speaking though, Josh, did you pick it up pretty well, pretty quickly? How would you rate yourself, man, when you look back now, when you first picked it up, when you first started?
Looking back, I'd say I progressed as a, average student. I had athletic abilities from growing up, I think helped me with my coordination and footwork. The big thing though is my passion for it is I practice not just at a class, but I came home and I would stand in front of my mirror in my bedroom and just dance. And I know it sounds crazy, but I would just do it and work my body movement and my footwork. And even looking back, it's like, man, I probably look so silly, but that's what you got to do if you want to get better. And so I attribute the silliness or what people would call awkwardness of dancing in front of a mirror or dancing, even at the gym. Sometimes I'd go to the gym in front of the mirror in the yoga rooms and just work on some footwork. People walking by looking at me like, wow, that guy's weird. But it ain't weird when you're dancing with some beautiful women at night and you're killing it on the dance floor. And so it's all worth it when you put in that work.
Yeah. Those are the moments that you're the center of attention, and everybody kind of observes, right?
Yeah.
And being there in Vegas, man, how's that scene, man? How's the salsa dancing scene out there, man?
It's a great scene. There's a lot of great dancers. There's several different dance studios. We have events throughout the week. It's a great time just because, Vegas is Vegas. There's always entertainment. There's different bands that come out. We have different venues and it's been a really good dance scene. A lot of great people out here.
Yeah. And when it comes to instructing, are your classes face to face, or do you kind of mix it up with online classes or?
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't have my own studio and I don't have a stable schedule. I'm not contracted or working at any studio. I'm more of kind of a pop-up instructor. I've substituted in certain places, or I get hired at, hey, this event's coming up, Josh, can you teach this class? Or hey, you know, we're doing this free lesson before this club opens up, whatever the case is. So I'm kind of like a pop-up, you know, move around instructor. I'd love, you know, to teach at some point in the future if I had a stable schedule, but right now there's so many other professional instructors that I'm just kind of working around schedules and helping out where I can. But I am working on an online course with a dance partner of mine. She's from Cali, Colombia, and so that's in the works. And that'll be an online course people can check out. Basic beginner salsa course.
No doubt, man. Yeah, that's beautiful, man. That's beautiful. It's funny because I was just last week, my wife and I were like, she wants to take salsa. She wants to take salsa lessons,
Okay.
and I was thinking, yeah, that's a good idea. Like, you know, that for us, you know, get away from the kids and stuff like that. My wife is a Caucasian. She's
Okay.
a gringa, right? And but she loves to dance. She loves the culture.
Yeah.
Hence, you know, she married me. I'm Mexican dude.
Yeah.
And you know, so but yeah, you know, I think maybe we got to venture out to Vegas, take one of your classes or
Hey,
something.
I'll hook you guys up. That'll be an honor.
Oh man, that would be
Yeah.
great.
Set
Yeah,
y'all up.
we're supposed to go
Absolutely.
to Vegas in April again, so we'll talk
Okay.
about it. Yeah,
Yeah, hit me up.
yeah, for sure, man. But what is it about salsa dancing for you, Josh, that's just that you love so much about it, man? Talk a little bit about that, man.
I love the connection of the music and the people. And so in salsa music, there's a lot of history behind it. There's of course a lot of romance and passion, and you know, there's different themes. The musicality and the instruments behind salsa is so impressive. And when you understand the roots of the music and how it works and comes together, and you can connect with your body to the music, and not only that, but also connect with another person, it's like a magic trio of I don't know. It's kind of, you know, it sounds crazy, but it's just such a cool experience when you can connect the music, your body, and then someone else. It's such a fun activity. And so for me, that's a pretty cool aspect of it. Additionally, you have the physical benefits of moving your body all night and you're burning calories. So that's how I get my cardio in. And then just meeting people, because every song you switch partners and it's a very cordial and respectful thing. Of course, you get, you know, maybe sensual and a little more romantic, and you get to play around with the music and you know, your dance partner, but it's respectful at the end of the day. And whether you're married, boyfriend, girlfriend, everyone knows not to cross a line and you know, be respectful of that. So I think it's a very safe environment, and people can enjoy themselves, be fun and flirty, and enjoy each other's company.
Yeah, it's a beautiful dance, absolutely, man. And how, as far as learning how to salsa dance, is it difficult? I mean, even for someone who's not very, you know, coordinated, let's say, not the most athletic, not a very good dancer. I mean, bottom line, let's, you know, just to be straight up, you know, how difficult is it for someone like that, you know, to learn?
Well, I'll tell you, double A. So you were in the Navy, right?
Yes.
And you learned how to march in basic training.
Yeah, pretty
You
much.
can learn the
Yeah.
basic steps of salsa. That's what I like to say. If you can march in basic training, to my military folks, if you can march in basic training, you can learn the basic steps. It's really not too hard. I mean, once you learn the basic footwork, that's the foundation, and you're good to go. You just got to work on that basic, and from there you can begin to manipulate and coordinate your moves accordingly to the music. So
Okay.
I'd say it's fairly easy. I mean, it's intimidating because when people hear salsa, it's a lot of music, it's a lot of different instruments. But once you understand the foundation, you're good to go.
No doubt, man. I mean, I'm okay. You know,
Yeah,
I got a little foundation. You know, it's in my blood. You know,
yeah, absolutely.
the Latin blood, and but you know, to be, I've never been formally taught how to dance in any kind of dance.
Sure.
But yeah, I want to give it a shot, man. I think I think, you know, I could excel, or you know, get you know, be above average, become above average dancer, man, or salsa dancer. I think
Absolutely.
you know, a little determination. You know how it goes, man. Practice,
Mhm.
determination. That, you know, sometimes that's all it takes, right? Uh,
Absolutely.
yeah, man. So and how often do you dance pretty much every day, Josh, or in some?
Mostly every day. There's classes every day that I attend to because I'm still improving myself. I've actually been practicing with my dance partner that I mentioned earlier before about doing the online course. We practice fairly frequently, a couple times a week. And then, of course, we have our events usually Thursday, Friday, Saturdays when we all go out and go to the events, whether it's performances to support our friends or to go out dancing socially. So it's almost a daily thing. Of course, there's a couple days here and there where I need a rest or I'm busy with real estate that I take off, but yeah, it's every day.
Yeah. Yeah. And at this point, are you fluent in Spanish?
I'm fluent. I speak it every day.
Oh,
100%. I mean, I got friends. I speak it every day. I use it at certain occasions at work. I speak it in my dance community. And then, with my travels too in South America and Latin America, I speak it, of course.
wow, man. And when did you start picking up Spanish?
That was when I was at the summer camp that I was mentioning when I was a little
Oh,
kid. I bought my first book when I was like 10 years old, and I started studying. And I just studied all the time. I started hanging out with Puerto Ricans and Cubans and Mexicans, and I just studied it. And then I went to the Air Force Academy, continued learning, and it's been continued learning ever since. So
oh, okay. So as far as Spanish is concerned, the language. So yeah, I mean, you've been practicing that a lot longer than you've been dancing then.
absolutely,
Salsa dancing.
absolutely, yep.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
So
that's
pretty much my whole life.
that's pretty cool, man. Do people mistake you for being Latino at this point?
When they hear me speak Spanish, they think I'm Cuban actually, because I have a Cuban accent. And I've been to
Oh,
Cuba, and I hang out with a lot of Cubans, and I listen to the Cuban salsa style. And so my my accent is a bit more Cuban. So it's funny when people hear me like, "Are you Cuban?" Or even sometimes Puerto Rican a bit. But no, yeah, that's usually the typical comment I get. And if they don't hear me speak, of course look like a normal white dude that don't know any Spanish. So that's the funny part.
yeah. Well, honestly, I thought I don't know why, because when you and I first first met on Instagram, I want to say it was a couple months ago, and time went by, and then as time as this date started approaching for tonight, I don't know why, I thought that I couldn't remember if you were Puerto Rican
Yeah.
or what, or not. And but yeah, I think you could pass for you look like I don't know if if you're familiar with the baseball players, like you remind me of Kike Hernandez. He was on the Dodgers for a while.
Okay. Yep.
Straight up Puerto Rican guy,
Yeah.
real light skin, light hair, like
Yep.
that. So yeah,
All right.
I don't know. Are you familiar with that guy?
Yeah, absolutely. That's funny you mentioned that. I'm visualized now. I could see that. And it's funny. There's a lot of course, Puerto Ricans and Cubans that are more light skinned too, and you never know. But yeah,
Yeah, man. So Latinos, man, we come in all shapes, sizes,
absolutely.
and colors, right? I mean, so, but yeah, I think that's a beautiful thing, man. That you embrace the culture like that, and what are some challenging things about salsa? I mean, when you first start out, man, what can you expect as far as just maybe a couple, 2 or 3 challenges, maybe what's something that stands out, that most people encounter when they first learn how to dance salsa?
I think one of the biggest challenges is getting over the fear of getting out there because you're so intimidating when you go out to a dance floor. Yeah, you know some basic steps, but you start seeing everybody dance and you're like, oh man, I can't do this. And of course, the other challenge too is, the woman you're dancing with, of course, you don't want to bore her, or you don't want her to, be displeased with your dancing. And so that's another intimidation for a lot of, men who are starting out. And so that's something you have to get over and just suck up. It's like, you know what? I don't care how I look. I don't care how everyone else is dancing. I'm gonna worry about myself. And hopefully the woman I'm dancing with is patient. And thank God, and in my experiences, everyone has been very patient. We all start somewhere. Even the best girls out there, they know that they started somewhere. And so that's what I like about the community too, is people are patient, they understand, and they dance with whatever your experience level is. Because I get beginners that ask me, of course, the beginner dancer that I'm dancing with, might not be the most enjoyable dance for me because it's not challenging, but I got to remember where I started too, and give that, return the favor and pay it forward. Is like, you know what, I'm going to spend the next, 30 minutes dancing with a couple of beginners and let them know what it feels like to enjoy a dance. But to answer your question is getting over the intimidation of getting out there with all the other people around, and then obviously with dancing with a new partner who may be better than you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Those are the challenges.
Yeah, no doubt, man. And like I said, I think, and like you said, man, I mean, just getting, if you've marched before, if you can learn how to march or step, obviously, you can learn how to salsa dance, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. I could see why it could be intimidating, man, for sure. Even now, I'm like, gosh, man, that must be so difficult to learn. It's what I think to myself. Salsa dance. But again, if you have a little foundation, you have some basic steps, like cumbia or some other types of dancing out there, and I think you have a basis for it for sure. You know what? And you do, Josh. You do so much, man, and how switching gears a little bit with real estate. You're a real estate agent in the Las Vegas market. How long you been doing that?
I've only been doing that since October of 2021. So only a
Oh,
handful of months now. So I'm fairly new.
wow, man. And what inspired you to get into that, brother?
I've always studied real estate and understood the importance of it. And it's something that I've always wanted to jump into with the time I had being a single dude. I grind hard in the military, but I also wanted a side hustle. And so I have a passion for real estate. I understand its importance, and I love helping people out, especially fellow military members who have to move around a lot, and knowing that the difficulties that come with deployments and family life. There was a team out here in Vegas that I wanted to join with because they really cared about our military. And so I wanted to give back too. It's like, hey, I love real estate. I understand how great it is as an asset for families, especially military. So I'm gonna see if I can join them and do this on the side. And it's been a great experience so far.
Oh man, that's a key thing right there, man. Like, yeah, you have these military families who have to move around, and you're providing a service to these service members who are that need to know what someone who's coming in to a new city, where to live, schools, for their kids or what have you. That's awesome, man. And you've been doing it since October. You mentioned what's how do you balance that with your military schedule? Is your military schedule Monday through Friday for the most part? Kind of 8 to 5 or something like that, or does that schedule vary which allows you flexibility to do everything else?
Good question. The rank I'm at now and the position I'm filling is pretty stable. It's a Monday through Friday. I typically get into work at 6:30, and I'll be working till about 4. And but it's possible, my schedule could change at some point where I'm working weekends or weird shifts. Not so much likely now with my rank. I need to be there in the day shift, daytime, stable schedule to maintain continuity and oversee a lot of the larger things that are happening throughout the day. So that gives me flexibility to work in the evenings and on weekends.
Oh, I see. Yeah, man. And for those of you who are not familiar with really military rank, Josh is a captain. That's so you wear the two bars, correct? At this point,
Correct. Yeah, it's 2 bars.
captain of the Air Force, which is an don't correct, 02,
Oh, 3.
03. Sorry, I didn't mean to bust your rank there, man. Yeah. Yeah, it just brings back a lot of memories, man. When I, being in the Navy myself, being a veteran, and I just remember all the ranks and officer ranks enlisted, and yeah, Josh is an officer. He's not enlisted. He's he's a somebody in the Air Force. He's not just an E1 prick, as they say.
No. Hey, airmen are the backbone of the Air Force, or in the Navy, seamen. Y'all make up, the meat of it. So
No, I hear you, bro.
appreciate your service too, Double A. Thank you.
Mm. Oh man, thank you for saying that, bro. Yeah, it was definitely an experience. I was up in Washington.
Okay.
Puget Sound Naval Shipyard up there near in Bremerton. It's called Bremerton, outside of Seattle. And yeah, great experience, man. There was I think up there is I want to say McCord Air Force Base.
Joint Base McCord, Lewis McCord. Yep.
Yeah, no doubt, man, no doubt. So yeah, man, like you're doing so much now, man. And what are some so are you going to start competing, going back to salsa dancing, Josh? Are you going to start entering competitions? Maybe you're doing that now. So what are some goals, some plans for the salsa dancing, man?
So goals for salsa dancing, I don't plan to compete anytime soon. I think that would be cool in the future. Right now, it's mostly focusing on, so within the salsa dancing world, you have your performers, you have your competitors, and then you have your social dancers. Is kind of like how I like to categorize it. Social dancing is what you see in my videos. It's that that free ad lib or that free creation on the spot dancing. There's nothing choreographed. It's the guy or the leader of the dance is leading the woman through it and coming up with things right on the spot. And that's what I love. It's that creativity and that challenge to become very good at that. And so that's where I like to focus my energy in the dance world. I enjoy performing. However, most of my energy is focused on that and teaching people how to do that well. And so I see myself in the future as continuing to teach that and to spread that passion. Competing wise, it's not so common here. Competitions are a little more prevalent in Latin America. They have a lot more of a competitive vibe just because it's so much more ingrained in their culture. Here there are competitions in the States, but it's mostly team based, and I'm currently not on a team, but I'm rather practicing with a partner of mine. But yeah, that's pretty much what I'm focusing on.
Yeah, no, I love that, that improvisational component of it, man. Right, and it looks like you're on a routine. It looks like there's a certain, step that you're following, but I think you call it, like you said, social dancing, where it's just free flowing. It's just creating on the spot, and that's a beautiful thing, man. That's artwork right there, man. Also, I wanted to mention, man, before I forget, you created a game, Loteria Boricua, and talk about that, man. What's up? What's going on with that?
Okay, so again, going back to my love for the Latin culture, I grew up with a passion. I've always played board games like we all do growing up. But there's a board game called Loteria, which is bingo, and it's based on words from Mexico. And so it highlights their culture and the different things they enjoy. And recently I had an idea. It was about a year and a half ago where I said, man, do they have other countries like this? This is pretty cool. That highlights, another country. And I didn't really find anything like that. And so I said, you know what, maybe I want to make a game that highlights another culture. And knowing that, I have a passion for the Caribbean cultures. Puerto Rico is a massive demographic in the Latino community. And if I'm not incorrect, I believe it's the second largest demographic outside of Mexican. So you have Mexican and the second one is Puerto Rican. If I'm, I have to verify that, but you have so many Puerto Ricans in our country. Obviously Puerto Rico is still considered a U.S. territory. You have so many Puerto Ricans in Florida, New York, Chicago. And so I said, you know what, let me do something like this. I have a lot of Puerto Rican friends. I love the culture. Let me just try to put something together. That would be cool if I made a game. And so I started working on it. I designed all the images myself. I got with an artist, of course, and they professionally did it, but everything was my vision, my idea. I worked with some Puerto Rican friends who gave me some inspiration. And it's a pretty simple game. It's bingo. Put it together, and I worked with a manufacturer, and it's on Amazon.
Okay.
It was a big risk. I took an investment on this and said, this could be a flop, but it could be a hit. So the money I put into it, knowing that it might not be successful, and not many people might be it was well worth it, because at least I had the experience of creating a board game, which, I never thought I'd do it, in my life. And so, believe it or not, it sold out within 2 months, and I had 2,000 units. I ended up selling about 2,600 units. I had some more units I sold in Vegas. And it's a hit, and it's got over, I think, 165 star reviews, and I'm out of stock right now, but there's more on its way. In about 3-4 weeks, it'll be restocked on Amazon. So it's been a hit.
Wow, man. Yeah. That's awesome. And when did you launch that?
That was launched in November. So kind of perfect timing with the holiday season. People were buying it. Of course, the majority of the market's Puerto Rican. They love it because there's a lot of nostalgia bringing them back, that they get from it. And it's a great gift for families. And so it sold in November, December, and even into January. And so that was another thing too, is I thought after Christmas it would stop selling, but it was still going strong, even more so in January. So I'm hoping that trend continues when I restock. Hopefully that the hype continues, and that's the case. I'd be happy. I'm actually finishing up. I'm making a Colombian version next, and so that's in work, and we'll see where it goes from there.
Damn, man, that's awesome.
So here's the game right here. So,
there it is. Yes, nice.
The box right here, you got a couple different cards. Of course, inside you got everything. So it's pretty good quality.
Oh, I got to check that out, man. And I can learn so much of the Puerto Rican culture from that game, man. And
I'll send you a copy.
Oh, easy. Man,
I got you. I appreciate it.
I appreciate you, man.
Yeah.
That's so cool, Josh, man. That you love the culture. You love the Wow, that's cool. And how did you do any marketing for that initially to push the product?
I started reaching out to Facebook groups, just posting on my social media. And then once I got the product loaded on Amazon, I spent some money on Facebook advertising and try to get some ads out there. And that really what did it because, someone shares it and then another person shares it. And that's what really helped is someone believes in you and someone starts sharing it. And then it just kind of grows from there organically. So
Yeah.
that was big, social media marketing and doing it on Facebook and Instagram, running some ads. That's what helped me really get the sales going.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. Congratulations on that, man.
Thank you.
And yeah, no doubt, no doubt. A Colombian version, and I think I don't know if you've seen the movie Encanto.
Not yet. I do want to see it. That's on my list to see. But yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that's awesome. That's the kind of I think that was released the last, I don't know, when was that? Last year or late last year sometime, and yeah, so it kind of maybe coincides with that, with that release of that movie. And um what about the passion I know you have another passion, or maybe it's not, tell me if it is or not. I know you enjoy riding motorcycles. What's your favorite? What do you drive? What do you ride? And what's your favorite kind of motorcycle?
So I have currently 2 motorcycles. I grew up with motorcycles. I'd say not grew up, but since middle school, high school, having a passion for that too. I have a Goldwing, which is a big touring adventure bike.
Yeah.
And then I have a smaller bobber project, so a little blacked out, badass type motorcycle that's loud, and that's a fun ride around town bike. The Goldwing is so comfortable. I love riding it. It's an adventure bike, and I love touring and traveling. And so that bike I could go hours on end with. And so that's another passion of mine, I guess.
Yeah, man. That's like a long distance bike. Huh? It's a Honda, right?
It is Honda Goldwing. It's my long hauler. So it's got bags on the side. I put my camping stuff in there, my rain gear. It's my camping bike, so to speak.
I've seen those. Yeah, man. Those are man. I love motorcycles, man. I'll kill myself though if I get one. I know myself, man. I know I'm a klutz by nature, and but yeah, man. Gosh, you just have a zest for life, Josh. Right? I think it seems to me like you just you're adventurous. You're you just have a passion for trying things out, and you just go after it, man. You go and what would you say, Josh, to people, man, about maybe facing their fears, about trying something new? What would you advise? How would you advise somebody who's really wants to try something, but they're just fearful? How would they conquer their fear? What would you tell that person?
You got nothing to lose. Try it all, because you never know what's going to change your life and what you're going to love. I mean, like I said, the salsa dancing, we tried a class. We went out to a class that changed my life. I had no idea that in a million years I'd be a salsa dancer and an instructor. Whatever, if you don't have a passion, try different things. And even if you do have a passion, try other things, because something could help you with something else. So getting over your fear, I say you got nothing to lose, because if you don't like something, you don't got to do it. You move on to something else. Don't care about what other people think, because at the end of the day, it's your life and you only got one life. So live it up and try everything.
Absolutely, man. I've always tried to do that, man. To just go after your dreams, man, and try something new. And I like that, man. I like that what you said about you don't know what's going to happen. Just try something, and you don't know where it's going to lead you. And like you said, you wouldn't have expected in a million years to become a salsa dancer and instructor. I mean, geez. Yeah. But even though you love the culture, you were speaking Spanish, and you love the food, music, and all that, but the dancing just maybe it came about later, and that was all just because you went, hey, I'm going to try a dance class in Panama, right? I think you said.
Yeah,
Panama of all places, man. What's your favorite Latin country that you visited, Josh?
Oh, that's a tough question. I think I lived in Spain for a bit. I've been in Uruguay. I've been in so many places. I'm not going to list them now, but I really enjoyed. It's such a tough question. Every country is different, and living there and vacationing there is obviously a different thing. You know, every country's got their problems, of course, their beauties as well. So,
Have you, have you been to Brazil, Argentina?
I have not been to Brazil. I'm going to be in Argentina in July for work. I've been to Uruguay, which shares a lot of similar cultures. To be honest, I really enjoyed Panama, even though, you know, because it did have a mix of some of the U.S. benefits of a, you know, really, you know, decently strong economy for, you know, comparatively to other Latin American countries, but at the same time, it retained a lot of its culture and ethnic roots in the more of the countryside of Panama. So I was able to enjoy both sides of it. Next to that, Puerto Rico, well, it's not its own country, it's U.S. territory. I really enjoyed Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
Cuba is a very interesting country to see that. It's sad and it's tough, you know, what their government and economy is like, but the people is what I fell in love with. The people really have a special energy behind them. And that's, if it's about people, I'd say I really enjoyed Cubans the most.
Wow. Very cool, man. And you've been to Mexico, correct?
That I have not.
Oh, you haven't been to Mexico?
Not been to Mexico. Not yet.
Oh.
No. Nope, that's on my list. That's it's funny. I've been to so many other countries, but Mexico I have not yet.
Yeah, man. I mean, you're you know, not too far away. You're in Vegas, but okay, that's interesting, man. And what you've been to Panama? What other Central American countries have you been to?
I've been to Costa Rica, Colombia, El Salvador. I passed through Nicaragua.
That's awesome, man.
Uruguay, the Caribbean, you know, the Caribbean countries. So yeah, still a few I got to hit though.
Yeah, no, like you said, man. Each country has its own, you know, beautiful culture, its own food, its own flavor, and you know, I would love to get down to a lot of those countries you mentioned, man. I've never been to I've never been to Central nor South America.
Yeah.
Cuba or Puerto Rico, but yeah, man, that's you know, a beautiful thing that you've done. And how often do you go back home, Josh, at this point?
But my family doesn't live in Jersey anymore. They moved down, or they don't live in Pennsylvania. They moved down to Delaware.
Oh.
Near the beaches, so to speak. My dad retired from work, and he lives on a golf course now. My mom, and they're living good. But I see them. I try to see them twice a year. Or whenever I travel to the East Coast, I'll stop by and say hi. So I just saw them recently last month.
Oh, okay. In Delaware, huh?
Yeah.
How do you like Delaware, man? I've never been.
Yeah, I like it. It's a pretty nice, peaceful state. There's not much to it. Never thought they'd move to Delaware, but good tax benefits and some really good people there. It's calm. I like it.
Yeah. It's one of the smaller states, I think, right?
It is. Yep. Very small.
Yeah, I think Rhode Island's the smallest one, right?
Yeah, it goes Rhode Island, and then Delaware, I believe, is the second smallest.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So, and do you have siblings?
I do have a younger sister. Well, she's only 2 years younger than me, and she lives in Delaware as well with her boyfriend, and then close to my folks.
I see, man. And how often do you hit the strip, man? Right there in Las Vegas?
Barely ever. I don't go to the strip. Yeah. So I mean, it's funny because when people think of Vegas, they're like, "Oh, strip. It's only party life." There's actually a lot more to do to Vegas than just that. Yeah. There's so much. We have the mountains. We've got just so much other stuff for locals. Even besides entertainment, it's actually a very nice place for families. Where I live, it's a very, very family-oriented community. We have parks. We have pools. We've got, of course, you have Arizona, just a couple hours south. You've got Utah, 90 minutes to St. George. A lot of hiking mountains there. We have Mount Charleston, which a lot of people go skiing and do hiking at. And of course, with motorcycle riding, I get to travel around the mountainside. I enjoy it a lot. So, but yeah, in terms of the strip, I don't go there too often. Only with friends and family, pass through town. They want to meet up.
Yeah, no, I hear you, man. It's like people tell me, "Oh, you must be at the beach every day," how often, which I do love the beach, but it's one of those things where, when you live here, you kind of take it for granted, or it's there, but you're not really frequenting that attraction, right? Or like Disneyland, for example, or the beach, of course. And I mean, but we got everything here too, man. Like you know, you could literally surf and ski in the same day here in Southern California, man. It's
Yeah, that's
beautiful.
cool.
Yeah. How often do you come out here?
I've really never been to California. I passed through for a few
Oh,
days for a salsa event, but I really haven't explored Los Angeles or any big city for that matter. So I still owe California a good visit.
oh man, you let me know when you come out, man.
Yeah,
You gotta come out here, brother. And you're welcome here
yeah, appreciate it.
at the house. Yeah, man. You know, we gotta hook up some time, man, and so we can go to the beach, right?
Awesome.
Disneyland. You know what I mean?
I'll hook you guys up. We'll do the salsa lesson too.
Yeah, man. We got to do that, man. Hey, Josh, man. Before we go, man, where can we find? Where can the good people find find you dancing? Can they, find out information on taking classes? All that good stuff, man.
Absolutely, I appreciate it. So I'm known as Salsa Josh on social media. So you type in Salsa Josh first thing on Instagram, it should be popping up. That's my big content, I guess, platform. I also have YouTube. It's Salsa Josh as well, and I upload various videos there. So you'll see my partner and I upload we do some free classes, and then Facebook too, Salsa Josh. But yeah, Instagram and YouTube are the big ones there. And if people have any questions, feel free to just shoot me a message. I'm very responsive, and I appreciate all the support from people. It's been a really good community and good outreach.
Yeah, no doubt, man. And we're in Loteria Boricua. You can find on Amazon, correct?
Yep, you can find it on Amazon right now. It's not going to pop up just because it's out of stock, but as soon as it's back in online, it was the first one. You type in Loteria Boricua. You even type in Loteria. It's the second one behind the regular Loteria. So yeah, that'll be on Amazon here shortly.
Okay. And what other speaking of Loteria, man, what other versions are there, man, as far as besides Loteria Boricua, the original? Are there any other types of loterias out there?
There are, but they're more like homemade versions. I haven't found any mass-produced official games like the one I've created.
Right.
So yeah, I'm sure there's more, homemade or small business ones, but this is the big one that's been, finally mass-produced.
Yeah, no doubt. That's cool, man. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, go watch Josh. Go check out his videos, man. You will not be disappointed. He knows what he's doing on that dance floor. He's cutting the rug. He's man, he's twirling. He's got the steps down. It's super impressive, man. It's definitely, it's fun to watch. Those videos are fun to watch. I've been posting more videos this week, man, to promote, and it's it's a lot of fun to watch that. And yeah, hopefully we get to maybe, I don't know, take one of your classes here in somehow, some way. And, but man, I want to thank you, Josh, for coming on again, taking the time out of your busy schedule, man. And you're always welcome now, man. You're always, I always say, once my guest comes on, they're a Profile Pod alumnus, and I do anything I can for my guests to support them and to show them love, going forward, man. So you're always welcome back here, brother.
Yeah, I appreciate Double A. Thank you so much for the time, for highlighting me and the community again that I'm a part of, and yeah, it's been an honor. Looking forward to linking up with you sometime in the near future.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Yeah, we're not too far away from each other, so we'll do that. We'll do that, man. Ladies and gentlemen, there you have Salsa Josh, Captain Salsa Josh, United States Air Force. Ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, he's doing so much, and he's an inspiration, man. That use your life as to do things. Enjoy life. Do things. Try something new. Something that you've always wanted to do. You never know what's going to happen, where it's going to lead you. Just like this podcast, for me, it's been 3 years now. And I mean, I get to come on here and meet amazing people like Josh every single week. And I get inspired every week. I get uplifted. I get educated, enlightened. And it's just like it's an injection of power every week, man. So, take it from Josh, take it from me, try something new, just do it. Like you always hear that the old Nike slogan, just try it, man. Take that step. That first step's the most difficult step. Once you do that, you'll be off and running, man. So once again, thank you, Josh. I appreciate you, man.
Thank you.
And thank you everyone for tuning in here on the Profile Pod. Again, whatever platform you're on, and go give Social Nostra a follow, give Josh a follow, and again, leave me a rate and review, subscribe to the Profile Pod here on YouTube. That's one way. If you want to show support for the podcast, that's a really, really cool way you can do it, man. It doesn't cost you anything. It's something simple, but yet so meaningful. So once again, thank you so much for being here. I'm Double A for Josh, Salsa Josh. We will see you next week here on the Profile Pod. And always remember to take it easy. Thanks again, Josh.
Thank you.
Peace.